delighted to say that the team are none the wiser about us chatting with anyone else. And the meeting went well.
As night falls in Singapore, the track starts to warm up, and it'll be red hot by the time we find out who's on pole for tomorrow's race. Time to set the grid then. Welcome along to qualifying here in Singapore.
Drop to P17, P17. We've only got 2 laps of fuel left. 5 cars as things stand. Alonso, Verstappen, Norris, Sainz and Leclerc. So, just ahead of us in this session at the moment are Gasly, Ocon and Piastri. And just behind us are Magnussen, Albon and Tsunoda. Okay, so the current fastest lap, 1 minute.
Sorry guys, I'm sorry man, really sorry.
With qualifying complete, all that remains now is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow. So Marina Bay hosted a Grand Prix that briefly ran in the 60s and 70s, but the Garden City re-entered the calendar for good in 2008. We missed it for a couple of years, but it was great to come back to the Singapore Grand Prix. Things have changed slightly around the Marina Bay circuit.
Radio check.
Here we go then.
Yeah, loud and clear.
Is underway and the track temperature looks warm. That may or may not play into some of the team's hands in today's race. We're almost ready to start the race as the cars take their positions on the grid, with the drivers and teams making their final preparations.
Okay, we're monitoring some wear on the internal combustion engine. Be aware that we're going to start to see a loss of power. Okay, DRS will be enabled this lap. You can use it when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone. lot of spare energy, okay to use your overtake button. Watch out for understeer in the wake of the car ahead. Try to get past as quickly as you can. Push, push.
Mode 9. Or press and hold the overtake.
Why? Why mode 9?
And then press and hold the overtake, Max, if you're in mode 7. Thank you.
Right, let's not stay behind this car for too long. We need to get past.
on -5 brake pads and the thing just doesn't turn. It's unbelievable.
Okay, be careful. We think you're going to start losing some tyre grip anytime now. Approaching the pit window and you're going to be on mediums.
Nice. Oh my god.
Right, we need to get past here. Use overtake, use overtake.
Yeah, just sliding around out here, mate. About 10 meters.
Yeah, understood. We believe he's overheating, like to gain the back.
Verstappen's ahead of you. They're on old mediums. Okay, their tyres are 7 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. And the time last lap, 1:34.3. Okay, so you're gaining by 8 tenths. 8 tenths. Box, we're coming in this lap. The gap to the car in front is less than 1 second now. Well done, let's try and get past in the DRS zone. Okay, Lewis, engine's running very, very hot. Engine's running hot. Let's try and keep it cooler. Copy that. Hards next time we box. Right, let's have you in at the end of this lap, please. Remember, box this lap. Keep an eye on your distance to the speed limit line as you approach and make sure you don't speed.
And away we go. And that was a very nice stop. No problems. Very smooth for Hamilton.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross onto the track. Charles is in the pits. You're increasing the gap to the car behind by a few seconds per lap. Keep it up. And gap to the car in front, 4.6 seconds. Nice work, you smashed it. Really good job on hitting that target, mate. just fitted the hard tyres. Car ahead now on the hard compound. That's Alonso behind. Okay, they're on fresh hards. Their tyres are 2 laps old. Your last lap time, 1 minute 31.1. We've got some clear track around us now, so let's use it and make this next lap a quick one. Let's go. That's P1. Charles is behind you now. They're on fresh mediums. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. And that's 8 laps to go. Yes, mate, we hit the target. Nice work. Okay, so
Yeah, just sliding around out here, mate. About 10 meters.
Yeah, understood. We believe he's overheating. Like to gain the back.
So we're expecting rain in about 10 to 15 minutes. You're in first position, front of the pack. That's Charles behind. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 6 laps old. Time last lap, 1:31.1. Okay, we think the underbody's incurred some slight damage, but nothing too serious at the moment. Just be careful.
very nearly into the wall.
Check front wing, I've just hit the wall.
It's going to cost us a little bit of time, but we're nearly at the end of the race. Okay, take it easy on the car, we can't sustain this level of damage. The underbody's taken a little damage, just watch out for it.
Just sliding around out here, mate. About 10 minutes.
Yeah, understood. We believe it's overheating. I go gain the back. Verstappen's in first place. Mind that front wing, it's going to need replacing if it takes too much damage. There's damage to the underbody, expect to feel significant effects in terms of performance. Okay, you've just started the final lap of the race. Final lap. Right, the gap to the teammate ahead of us, 10.7 seconds. Okay, this is your final lap of the race. It looks like rain is inbound and we're expecting it in around 5 minutes. 5 minutes until the rain. Dries definitely seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
We won it! Finally! Yes! 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 Ah!
Points.
And Leclerc to the line, to the checkered flag. It's King Charles today. He wins.
It's not every day that we get to see such incredible wheel-to-wheel racing. Next time, they might consider making it easier for themselves, but today, we absolutely loved all the action that we got to see out there.
Looking at the podium, you can see that red suit familiar to fans across the globe. A world-class win for a world-class team. Ferrari, do it again. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport action. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
Okay, all the new parts have been fabricated and we're going to have them with us for the next Grand Prix.